Hey, so I'm finna tell my story, and then I think that I'm gonna have to disappear for like a month or two. Now, I've been crying, so my eyes are red and stuff like that, but I'll be all right. Um, I wasn't gonna make this video mostly because of pride, you know, but I just got off the phone calling a few people, and I realized that I was basically on my own. And I would just have to like go through this situation. Um, but I learned something, I seen something. I seen people grinning just because of the position that they had me in. I seen it a few times today. And that kind of like told me to fuck pride because, I also deal with silencing today, like people trying to silence me. So, but I'm going to tell my story. Like, I'm going to tell it. So today, I told y'all some time ago after that last um incident that after I woke up, I was sick. That same day I had got a knock on the door, and they was giving back my check that I paid to rent. Now, to be honest with you, the way that this is operating, it really feel like, you know, people in my management, like they working against me on purpose. In the management of the apartments that I live in, because it's not a money issue. It's not a money issue. So I applied for these other apartments, and these apartments really wanted me. Like, I'm so upset because I feel like it's partially my fault because I should have went that route. I should have went that route. I should have had went with those apartments. They wanted me because my record was good. I always pay my bills on time. I'm hella quiet. I'm an introvert. So they had an apartment open December. My lease here is up November. Let's see what been going on. Stop fucking calling me because of See, every time I'm about to speak, like that's when people like want to call me and shit like that. Um, the economy is hella fucked up right now. Like rent been increasing. Not even every lease. Rent been increasing within your lease. Like this one year, my rent had increased like over $100. It's not just here. They doing it because they can. It's not just here, it's all over. Um, but with the minimum wage, I'm seeing McDonald's paying people like $15 an hour. That even if you work full time is not enough. It's not enough. Let's do the math on that. So when you go apply for an apartment, not only that, but they require you to have 3 to 4 times over the rent for you to qualify. Now, I'm just a working person. So, I could get to like maybe 2 times over the rent, maybe 2 times and a half. But 3 times, 3, 4 times. But even with that, I could have I had a way around that. And so I should have just I should have went I should have had applied. I should have just finished that. But I was thinking about not like rooting my daughter, so she could like finish out school year smoothly and everything like that. So now the apartments, they won't have a vacancy until January. Matter of fact, hold on. Cause I'm gonna make sure I complete that one. But my lease for here is up November. And so I went to court. Now this is what happened. That day that they sent my check back, like I went up to the office. I called them because they won't open the door. Like they sit in the office with their lights fucking off. I feel like these people like they be watching. They have cameras in the hall and stuff like that, but you know, you remember there was a time back in the day that somebody came up and left some shit at my door and stole my package. Now the management before that, um, they would check the cameras to help you with that. But this new management, no, they lock shit down. This new management, honestly, they almost act like the fucking mafia or some shit like that. Some real shit. They act like they are family. They work together. Like they sit in the office and they gossip about people. The way that they communicate with each other is like they just some real nasty ass people. I knew that since day one. And my neighbor, she also used to have an issue with them. They slammed the door in her face. They accused her of recording when she was on the phone with her friend. And they was asking to see like 6 months baked statements and stuff like that. They was like really taking her through it. And these people are real vindictive. They nasty. Like, they put you in a situation that they know you're gonna get mad. But let's say that you raise your voice just a little bit. These motherfuckers will slam the door in your face. These motherfuckers will not answer your messages when you write them. These motherfuckers will plot against you. I sit there and watch them do that shit today. So even I wish I could have had recorded that court hearing. I wish I could have had recorded it. They might have it. You know, the court might have it. Because even in the court hearing, they rule on my favor. I had to pay less than what they was asking me of because it was proven in court that these motherfuckers was penciling me, that they was adding charges to my rent. So it ruled in my favor, and all I had to do was pay that. But my lease was up in November. Now, I ain't think that these people had like a vendetta against me per se. So I was going to sign like a short-term lease with them or something like that because I ain't never had an issue with paying rent. I always pay rent. I never been over a few days late. Never. And if I was late, I paid the late fee. So honestly, it just felt like these people, honestly, what I feel like is that these motherfuckers got a phone call to just make shit hard. And, you know, I've been conversating with them and stuff. They make it seem like, you know, it ain't no issue and everything. So I'm not thinking that they was going to do what they did today. I wasn't going to think they was going to do that. So today, because we had to go through the court and everything, I have to pay 2 months rent through the Kirk of court. So today I was going up there to pay that. It wasn't no issue. It wasn't no problem. But before I went up there to pay that, I went up to the office and asked them like, so I'm finna go up here and pay this. Like after I pay this, like we cool, right? Like y'all don't have like no issue with me. Is y'all still gonna try to convict me? And they told me that yes, they gonna still try to convict me. I mean, still try to evict me. And I was like, why? Like I'm literally trying to pay these people their money and they are adamant on evicting me. Why? It's a little short motherfucker, mean ass spirited motherfucker in the day that they sent my check back and I went up to the office. They do dumb shit like when you call and ask them a question, they get an attitude with you. So I'm asking them like, so why did you send my check back to me? I'm calm. Like I walked up to the office, but because they won't answer the door, even though they sitting in there with the motherfucking light off, I had to call them on the phone just to get anybody. So I called them. I'm asking them questions, and they keep telling me like, "Well, you paid late, so we decided to order with the court or whatever like that. Put in a court order for eviction." Well, no, they didn't even say that word. They said that you paid late. And I said, okay, so what that mean? And they just kept saying like, you paid late. And I was like, okay, but what do that mean though? What are y'all saying? And then she was like, well, we gave you a 3-day notice. So I'm thinking like, so what the fuck that mean? I ain't never get a 3-day notice before. So I like, what do that mean? And they was like, oh, we filed legal papers to have you evicted. And I was like, so you trying to evict me? Even though I sent y'all a check plus the late fee, y'all gonna try to evict me? And she was like, well, you paid late. So I hung up the phone. I started protesting. I started protesting in the lobby. I started telling people what the hell is going on. I like, yo, I'm telling my story out loud in the lobby. Like, yo, I'm not a month late for rent. I'm not 2 months late for rent. I'm a few days late for rent, and these people are trying to evict me. Even though I sent them a check, including the late fee, they are still trying to evict me. The lady come out the office then, and she said to me, oh, now I'm really going to evict you now. So, um, so that's when I started to look for places to stay and stuff like that. I found that place, but um, because of the rent requirement, and the rent was a little higher than over here. The rent was a little higher than over here, so I was like, yo, I where I'm at financially right now, like I'd rather just pay this rent and stuff like that. Um, and I also had got the advice that, if I go to court, then and I win, then they won't be able to evict me. And I'm thinking like these people, they making it seem because I talked to them a few times afterwards, and they make it seem like it ain't no vendetta, you know. I just paid my rent late, and they just follow their procedures and stuff like this, and yada yada yada. So it ain't no issue, ain't no vindictiveness. But today I learned, no, that ain't the motherfucking truth. So today when I asked them that question, like, so I'm gonna go pay this money. I had to 3 o'clock today to pay. If I don't pay by 3 o'clock, then the court will immediately order for them to evict me, and they will have ownership of my property and stuff like that. I also can get a 24-hour eviction. Like they could evict me in 24 hours. So today I'm gonna start packing because the way that these people is, I guarantee you, like as soon as they get that order, um, they so vindictive that they really would call the sheriff and try to put my shit out. I learned that today. Like they really like that. Cause I'm gonna tell you exactly what the fuck happened. Okay. Now this ain't no speculation or nothing like this. This ain't my fucking intuition or nothing like this. This is exactly what the fuck happened, what this lady said to me, what this lady said about me, and what she put me through today. So when I went up there, I asked them, like, so I'm gonna go pay this money. My lease was up in this month. Would y'all still try to evict me? The woman told me, yeah. And I was like, why? Why would you still try to evict me? And then she told me, hold on, we get to you in an hour. It's 1 o'clock. And I was like, okay, all right. Can you just explain to me real quick, like what the hell is going on? Because I'm fit to pay y'all money. And then she gonna say something like, well, you ain't paying this to us, you paying it to the court. And I was like, yeah, but I'm paying it to the court, and they're gonna send you the money. They said that in the hearing. I pay to the court, and they send that money to them. So they just be saying shit too, like they be like saying whatever they can say to like get you out of their face or something like that. They don't want to look like they shady, but they doing shady shit. So and I could tell that they already talked about it because the woman said that, well, she can't answer the questions, but the other woman can. But what she did answer me is that, yes, they still will try to evict me, even though I give them their money. Even though they never had an issue with me paying, they would still try to evict me. And I was like, I just want to understand why. And she was like, well, okay, wait here for an hour. She wanted me to wait out in the lobby from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And they made me wait too. They made me motherfucking wait too. So I'm up here, I'm getting like, I like, yo, they wasn't doing shit at the time. There was like nobody there or nothing like that. And I was like, yo, y'all understand that I'm under a time constraint. Then she gonna tell me, well, don't pay then. And I was like, well, if I don't pay today, like you was there in the court, if I don't pay today, then that means that y'all automatically win the eviction case. She was like, well, I told you. She started get this another thing that they do. They get real ugly with you. She was like, well, I told you. Wait here to an hour. So I'm waiting out here in the lobby. Because of what she just told me, I already knew like, okay, this is gonna be a fucked up situation. Cause if I give them this money, when I move to a new place, I'm gonna have to pay a deposit plus the rent, the first month rent. I'm gonna have to pay that. So I'm up here thinking like, yo, should I even pay it or whatever? Because the way that these people treat me, they are determined to kick me out for like whatever reason. But I just really wanted to know the reason. So when I out in the lobby, I started making phone calls. I tried to call the Kirk Court, couldn't get them on the phone. I called my dad. I was telling him like what is going on. He said something about politics. He was like, well, yeah, they doing this because they could get away with it. But what it sounds like is that, they trying to push old residents out. Because see, before the management switch over, I had already had a lease with the old management. So I was in the middle of my lease. So when I think what they trying to do is that they trying to get old residences out. And then because I think it's something legally going on. Like it been an issue since they came here. When they first came here, I paid too much rent. I paid too much rent when they first came, like right before they came, right before they switch over to the old management. When they was like leaving out, I paid too much rent. In 1 month, I paid 2 months rent. When this new management call came, they talking about I owe money. They talking about I owe a month of rent. And I was like, no, 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 no. Mm-mm. I paid too much rent. And they was like, well, we don't have the money. And I was like, well, y'all better find it. Cause I got proof that I paid that. And they told me not to worry about it. They would take care of it. And I was like, all right, cool. So they told me that they would contact me in a week. They didn't. So after 2 weeks, I contacted them to see if they found my money. And I was like, yo, I've been waiting on y'all to call me and stuff like that to let me know if y'all found my rent money. The lady had a motherfucking attitude. She was like, I told you I'd take care of it. And I was like, okay, but you told me that you will call me in a week to update me after you talk to the property manager. And she like, well, she didn't come in and everything, and I'm overworked and da da da. I was like, look, Ain't my issue. I just want to know if y'all found my rent money because I paid. And it was like, well, you don't have to worry about getting evicted. And I was like, okay, but still, because I paid too much rent, not just one. So I want to make sure that y'all had it. After that phone call, I was like, you know what? It is what it is because I got proof that I paid it. And if they try to act crazy and stuff like that, then I handle it from there. So they never called me to update me on that. It was until I'm about to pay rent again. I went up to the office and I asked them, I like, look, I had an issue. They told me they don't remember me. They don't remember my face and stuff like that. But remind you, when I first came up to the office to discover that my rent was missing, I had like a whole conversation with them. And I seen their dynamic because at that particular time it was three people and they was in there in front of me. I'm the residents. They was in there gossiping about the old management, talking about how the old management was doing corrupt things and they was doing all the shit that they doing now. That's what they was talking about. And I'm just like, okay, I just want to know if y'all found my rent money. After that first time going there, like the way the lady talked to me and treated me and stuff, um, she act like she was going to remember me. She was going to write my information down and make sure to call me in a week. She never called me. So when I about to pay rent again, I went up there and asked them like, yo, did y'all find my rent money? Cause I told her the situation, like I came here like 2 months ago and y'all told me that y'all didn't have it. This lady had a straight attitude, rolling her eyes, huffing and puffing. She looked into her computer and she was like, the money here. And she looking at me like I'm tripping. And I was like, okay, but y'all didn't inform me. Y'all didn't update me. She like, well, it's here. And I was like, yo, can I just make a suggestion? Like, can you just can y'all be better organized when y'all take complaints from the residents? Like write it down and make sure that you get back with people because I had a right to be concerned about my missing rent money. I had a right to be concerned about that. But y'all have an attitude with me if I come up in here and ask y'all anything. Not just with me, but this is around the time that they just slammed the door in my neighbor face because she was asking a question. They slammed the door in her face, threatened to call the police, was hella rude to her. So I'm like, yo, why y'all so angry all the time? Let me tell you what this woman did. After I politely made a suggestion like, yo, this is something that is important. This is missing rent money. And I'm sure that if you was in my shoes, that you would feel the same way. This woman gave me a super ugly face, went into her office, slammed the door, and then started like throwing stuff around the office and stuff. You could hear it. So I looked at the receptionist and was like, yo, she got issues. She got issues. Like she shouldn't be this angry. Like, I don't get that. The receptionist just sat there and stared at me. I was like, all right, I'm just for the head out then. Because the economy is so bad, right now. It's almost impossible to get any help. Every service hotline that I have called, I could not get through. Um, Also, you could see the fear in the neighborhood. People don't want to hear about what's going on with you because they don't want to be included. They scared. They scared of the same thing happening to them. So when I was protesting, people was hearing me, but they wouldn't even look up at me. Of course, they didn't say anything because they don't want to be in the same situation. So people are afraid to speak up. People are afraid to stand up for somebody. Not me though, because when they was doing that shit to my neighbor, I was like, yo, I want to come up there next time with you to the office. Because some of the shit that they was asking for didn't make no motherfucking sense. But people don't have heart like that. They don't. They don't. But I do understand because how fucked up the situation is. People got kids, they got families. It was like, look, we seeing how these people treating you. I can't stand up for you and then my family be out on the street. So I would have stood up for them though. I would have, and I have. I have. You know, I ain't just talking shit. You could ask about me in this community. People know I would speak up. People know I would help. People know that. This some Aquarius shit right here. Matter of fact, let me pause it because you know how people is doing right now. Like they could try to take my shit down, just because of that. Ain't like I'm monetized, but you know how they do. And I still be feeling like, it's my fault because at that time I should have just did what I had to do to get the fuck up out of here. I should have did that. So now I gotta go a month without really knowing where I'm gonna stay at. So I should have did that. I did. I do think that is other factors that even manifested this situation because I hope that y'all paying attention that all this time in this story, I ain't never try to keep money from these people. I ain't never tried to not pay them. I was a few days late. I was not months late. I wasn't even a month late. So, that's what I'm trying to, and that's not out of a pride or ego thing or whatever like that. because I don't never try to act like I have it like that. I'm always real about my situation. I've been blessed in some ways, yes, but I'm a person that have to work for what I have. I do not make a whole lot of money. I'm not wealthy like that. I think that I carry that energy because one day I think that I'm going to be wealthy. But right now I'm broke as fuck. Okay. And I'm always real about that because I've been broke my whole motherfucking life. Like, what the fuck? What's the point of feeling some shit about that? Like, I ain't never had a whole lot of money. Never. So I don't know. I don't even know what that shit is like. So, and that created like a PTSD or something because for real though, I'm a cheap ass motherfucker. Especially when I became a mother. Like I put myself last. My daughter, she come first. I be making sure that she's straight. And then I make sure that I'm straight. Right now, I'm balancing that. I learned to balance that, but I still have phobias. Like sometimes, and I'm just getting over that. Like I was just getting over that, but this shit right here is triggering. But it would be hard for me to go shopping because I would have a phobia about it. Like I would feel guilty if I buy myself something. Like if I get myself a jacket or something and that shit was like $29, I would feel some type of way about it. Like I start thinking about what it could have went to and stuff like that. So I have phobias around that. So I'm a real like simple ass motherfucker. Like I'm not attached to materialism because I once told somebody that I was a minimalist, but not by option, but by choice. And there's a difference because, when I watched that minimalist documentary, these are motherfuckers who had a lot of money. So all they had to do was like downgrade. And that made their lives so much better, right? Because these motherfuckers was already rich. So when they start living more simple, their life became extremely better. But see, when you always poor, it ain't no fucking downsizing. It ain't no fucking minimalizing, you know? You just don't fucking got it. Period. So it ain't no such thing. We have to think of ways like they could have been working 80 hours a week. Average motherfucker working 80 hours a week and shit like that. I seen this woman work 2 jobs and still was homeless with her kids. Motherfucker never slept. Ever. They was living in a hotel and still couldn't make it. So she trying to figure out how can she make more money without killing herself. It's a motherfucker difference. Like you a CEO of a company or something and you working 80 hours a week, making like 50 grand a month or something like that. And then all of a sudden you decide to go part-time. Yeah. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. you know? So yeah, but this is a vendetta. So yeah, when I was out in the lobby, I was talking to my dad and I was just telling him, we was just talking about it. and everything. I was reading the paper to him, and I was like, yeah, I'm in the lobby now because they told me to wait. But I told him that I only have a short time to go ahead and pay, or they will automatically, win the case. And I think that they know that. She do know that because she was there in the hearing the same thing that I'm hearing. So when she told me, well, you could just not pay. No, actually she told me, well, you could just not pay today. But in the hearing, you heard what they said. Yo, that was a motherfucking blessing because the lawyer said, not the lawyer, the judge said that because of the holidays, because she said she usually make people pay the next day, but because of the holidays, um, I had like 4 days, 4 extra days. And I'm glad I had that because I had time to think about it. I had time to think about it before doing that. I'm so glad that that happened. I'm so glad that that happened. Um, I seen people grinning at me today just because they enjoy seeing me empowered. I seen that, I seen that in more ways than one today. And I'm sure that it's some people, they can't fucking stand me because I speak the truth. And I know that those motherfuckers, y'all feel good. I don't really care what the fuck they think because, you know, I just don't care what the fuck they think, honestly. I don't. The reason why I wanted to share this is because I feel like my vulnerability help heal other people. Because people can relate. And people, they don't have the balls to talk about it until after. So y'all sit here and y'all watch me go through shit. So, and I know that some of y'all going through the same shit and you feel alone, but you ain't. You're not fucking alone. And also, I try to handle things with integrity, standing on my values, standing on my morals. So, in a lot of ways, I can say that I'm blessed. And I feel like every situation that I go through, it makes me stronger as a person. And I even recognize the lesson that I'm learning in it. So it helped me to not lose my mind. See, when you get to a certain time of consciousness and they will make shit hard for you. And the worst thing that you could do, the worst thing that you could do is go back to sleep. I know motherfuckers be wanting to, but I couldn't even if I tried. I just already on scene too much, and you cannot unsee it. So I don't even, the tactic that they use, they know that you can't go back to sleep, but they want you to be so in fear that you don't talk about waking up. So yeah, I waited out there in the lobby, but I thought about, should I pay this money or not? And so yeah. So when I was talking out there in the lobby, there was a woman and she was signing her lease. And I'm up here talking to my dad. I'm walking like in circles, talking, but me and my dad are intellectuals. So I'm not cussing. I'm not being ratchet. I'm saying shit that make motherfucking sense. Because bitch, I ain't stupid. I'm not stupid. So I'm really spilling the motherfucking tea. Me and my dad on the phone, we calculating this shit. My family is real intellectuals. They think deeply about some shit. Yo, I'm talking so powerfully about this that the woman, she looked up to me and she said, "You scaring me." And I looked back at her and I said, "I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep it real. These people right here, they really vindictive. And when I'm speaking, it's the motherfucking truth." I told her that if you ever have an issue with these people, I'm telling her how to handle them so she won't be in my shoes, because some people ain't meant to do what I do and everything like that. But these people, because I speak my mind, I protest, and I say real shit, they constantly try to silence me. So I'm telling her, like, because, you know, that day when I started protesting in the lobby, that's what they used against me. So when I finally went into the office with them, they had an attitude. Oh, yeah, let me tell you what happened before that, because it's two offices. So one of them was in one office, the other one in another. And my dad asked for their number. So I gave my dad their phone number, and he called up in the office and he asked the woman, like, yeah, my daughter, she's in the lobby waiting to speak to you. You know what the first thing this woman said to my dad? "She lying to you." My dad was like, "Lying to me about what?" "She lying to you about everything." I guess because she was hearing, oh, I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it. They was hearing my conversation. I thought maybe they couldn't because they was in the office with the door closed. So when I'm out here talking with my dad about this shit, they hearing it. So I guess that's why she was telling my daddy that I was lying to him, but I wasn't. How I'm lying to you when this shit is on paper? Like, not, it really didn't make no fucking sense. So she kept saying that I was lying to him, and then she hung up the phone. I get okay. This is other stuff I was talking to my dad about. I was talking about how it was monopolized to put people in this position and to make them powerless, because all the other rent is so extremely high in that area now. that they capitalize off of that. They never go with an empty apartment ever because they fairly cheap. And they know the power in that. So when I was talking about like when you move, they ask you for 3-4 times the rent. And they know that that's something that it's hard to come by in this economy. So we was talking about that. So where's the lie? And my dad was asking her, like, lying about what? She just kept saying that I was lying. So that already like brought up red flags with him particularly. And then she hung up on my daddy. After she get off the phone with my dad, she come out her office and walk into the office of the other lady. And I knew they was in there gossiping. Cause that's what they do. I sit down and watch them do it. She mad now. So they ain't doing shit, but they making me wait on purpose. When the lady finally called me in the office, she didn't open the door for me. She let the door close on me. And then she gonna turn around and say, I'm sorry. I thought you would be closer behind me. I let that slide. I sat at the desk. I was real polite. She sat there and didn't say anything. And I was like, do you want me to start? She waiting on the other woman because, the other woman was at the hearing. So she came in and then she just stared at me. And I said, do you want me to go first? She was like, yeah, because I don't know what you want. I was like, well, I went through the hearing with y'all. I was ordered to pay. Like, this hearing wasn't the eviction case. I had to question how much they was asking me because they was asking me for more than what they told me. And I had proof. That's why the hearing went in my favor because I had the proof. They gave me a printout of how much my rent was with the late fee. And they told me that's how much I owe. So if they asking me for like $200 over that, maybe 100 or whatever, I was like, they told me that I could have a hearing so that they could question the amount owed. So I took that route. So we went to the hearing and they end up granting me even cheaper. The judge said to make it fair because the judge questioned why in the paper that you had the deputy give to her, why is the rent higher on this? She questioned. So after the woman answered the question and everything like that, the judge felt like, okay, I'm gonna take these extra charges off. Because really, the amount, because the lady admitted that it was too high. And because I had the proof, the paperwork, but she threw on an extra charge. It was even like $40 more. But I was like, you know what? I was just gonna, like, if I had to pay that, I was just gonna pay it. But I think that alerted the judge because you asking for $40 more of what you said on this printout of this girl paper. So she took off even more charges. Afterwards, they put us in a room to ourselves. And she was telling me, because I was gonna come out there and talk to them that day about stuff, but she was telling me that no, you have to wait till the property manager get here, and they had a family emergency, so they won't be here to. Oh, bitch! Wow. I was gonna go talk to them that day, but she told me that the best day to come up there and talk to them was the day that I had to pay the money. She did that on purpose. She did that on purpose. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. And then that's today. And then they did what they did. So I was like, okay, so I'm about to go and pay this money. My lease was up in November, but I was hoping to sign a short lease. And she like, well, you violated lease contract. And I was like, she said, I violated lease contract when I was up in the lobby protesting. She was still mad about that. I want to ask her zodiac sign. She gave me Aries vibe strongly. She do. Um, then she told me I violated again by talking on the phone with my dad in the lobby in front of somebody else. Now, when I first called my dad, that woman wasn't even in the lobby. When I first started talking to my dad, and I questioned the other lady, and I was like, you was out there with me. When I first contacted my dad, nobody was in the lobby. She told me that was because they was in the bathroom. How I'm supposed to know that? There was nobody in there. And y'all was telling me to go out there and wait for an hour. So I'm making phone calls and I'm telling them, I say I called my dad not to throw shade on you. I called him because of the situation, because she sat here and told me that y'all plan on still trying to evict me, even though I'm paying y'all money. Well, she told me with a real smug look on her face that no, we ain't gonna give you no lease because of that spectacle you did in the lobby. So I knew that they was planning on not just evicting me, but like taking me to court. So I said, okay. I stood up and I told her like I handle it. And I started to walk out. And she was like, yeah, I bet you would. Like she wanted me to explode. She did. I almost gave her what the fuck she wanted, but nah, because that could have quickly went into a situation where I would have went to jail or something. And that's what they wanted. Because I could tell like when they was telling me that the woman who wasn't speaking started flinching up like she was preparing for me to explode or something. But I didn't give them what they wanted. So I left. I started making phone calls. I called the place that I was thinking of moving, and they told me that they won't have a vacancy till January. So I was thinking about, what I'm gonna do in between of that. And my husband, when he moved out, he got him a 3 bedroom. And he had asked me several times to move in with him, but he tell me his rules. And I felt like this was his purpose since the beginning. He wanted to coerce me into a situation that I have to obey by his rules. That's the whole reason why he ever said that he was going to move out, because before he did, he was thinking about not doing it. But all I have to do, he wouldn't do it if I just obey his rules. I told him, I think you should move out. So after that, he moved out. He got a 3 bedroom. I asked him, like, why you getting a 3 bedroom? He always told me it's to make space for me and my daughter to move in with him. But he always said I would have to go by his rules. My daughter, she tomboyish, you know. He want to force my daughter into a dress. Um, I can't bring no weed, but that's cool. I can't bring my tarot cards. I can't bring my crystals, and I'm not allowed to wear pants in his house. you know, and he real adamant on that. And I was like, well, now that you have your own place, you have the right to be adamant. Do what you do, but know that I never will want to live like that. Know that I will feel like I'm in a jail cell living with you. These are things I told him exactly. I told him this exactly. I will feel like I'm going to prison if I ever had to live with you, because you don't allow me to express myself freely. Now, when we lived together here, he will always complain about the things he wanted, but I would just still do me. But when he made the choice to move out with him making majority of the income, him telling me that he don't want me to work because he want me to I mean, he told me because he feel like it's his place to just like take care of me and stuff. But then once I did quit my job, he quickly showed me that it's always, if I give him an inch, he gonna try to take even more. Because I realized the image that he have in his head of what he want me to become, and that's just not me. So he kept trying to force me somehow in that position systematically. And there was a time that I kind of gave in, but this was before the shit had happened in 2020, where I went through a dark night of the soul because my cousin betrayed the fuck out of me. And that was a domino effect. My friends turned on me, other family members. And this was like after my brother died. That fucked me up. And like I was so devastated. I had to find my spirituality and I had to find my voice to survive that, to get out of that dark night of the soul. And I did. And once I did, I knew I couldn't give it up. But also, me finding my voice is a beautiful thing. And it should be beautiful to him too, because we both mature over the years and ways. Um, and he was always had freedom to express himself how he choose, but he really felt like he should push me in a box, and I just could not understand why would he even want to do that? If you love me, why would you want to do that to me? Then it was like he started to separate me, things that he like about me and things that he don't. And the things that he didn't like about me was like my spirituality and stupid shit like me wearing pants, me wearing crystals, me buying tarot cards and shit. But to me, I was questioning why he can't see the beauty in it. And he does. Because when I found my spirituality, I became a much more balanced person, less triggered by things. I was never like abusive or no shit like that. I was never, um, and I was really hard on myself back in the day. So if anybody ever heard me say that I knew that I was difficult back in the day, I wasn't difficult. I'm just hard on myself. And when people was disappointed with me that I care about, I took that really hard. But when I look back at things, the things that I wanted and asked for, like, was just understanding, love, respect. And he felt like he couldn't give me those things all the time because of the things that he disagreed with. He would say things to me like, a woman that is just submissive and obey. He even sent me videos of that one black lady that Alihio was showing to the people, and she was talking about, I guess, how a black woman should be submissive, yada yada yada. I think her name is Shabazz or something. I don't know. Um, and of course I would debate it. I would debate this because I would feel strongly about it. And put yourself in my shoes. It's like man don't think from a standpoint that This shit wouldn't make you happy. So why are you doing it to me? You couldn't handle this. He couldn't handle me trying to change the way that he dressed, change with his beliefs. He couldn't handle that shit. So why are you doing it to me? And he said that no, the solution is for him to move out. But when he moved out, he wanted to still make it work. Anyways, so now I have this situation. When it first happened, that day that I woke up sick and they sent me back my check. I got my check that same day. And I told him what was happening. No, okay, so I think this is an important part. In the beginning of our separation, we were still fucking, but when this situation, I stopped wanting to be intimate with him because sometimes I feel like that's the only thing that he really wants. It like very simple minded in a way. Like but see, he not operating in a sense that because I'm like, I'm okay with just being friends with you. He have a belief of what marriage is like and what it should be. And he can't just break out of that. So he feel like I can't even explain this shit because it exhausts the fuck out of me to be real. Like around that, he if I need something, he would provide. Um, he would want to go out like as a family with my daughter. We went kayaking. This is after he moved out. Um, and it's little things about him that I like. I like how, forehead kisses, how gentle he is with me. Like he could treat me like I'm precious, telling me that I'm beautiful, and me feeling like, you know, it's true coming from him. I feel like I'm beautiful too, but uh, people have their own perception of beauty. So, um, I like the fact that he always turned on by me, like for like just the simple things. Like his dick would start to get hard. So I felt like he was genuinely attracted to me. Um, I like that he would acknowledge the fact that I'm smart. I like that, like he at times a really great motivator. So it's hard to be like even mad at him. He's always respectful. Um, like I have a video up of me and him talking. He always like that. But he might not raise his voice, but he will do other petty shit. Pisces. So we did have some dark times. his desire to control me and dominate me, I felt like that came from a place of hurt, but he refused to see it because I felt like he thought he was still getting what he wanted out of the relationship because he had me where he wanted me. I remember wanting to leave for the longest, but like him making it difficult for me to do job interviews, and he didn't want me to be independent. I was still going on job interviews. I was not getting jobs. I don't know what the fuck. It really felt like a conspiracy. There was even one job that they liked me so much because I had all the experience that they needed. They even sent me home with the form for direct deposit. I'm thinking that I got this motherfucking job. Never heard from them. So a week later, I had to call them and be like, what's going on? And they told me that they were still in the hiring process. And they never called me back. So I ain't never get that job. But the way that they was talking in the interview, they was telling me about the uniform. They was telling me what days I'm going to be working. They sent me home with a direct deposit slip and they never called me. Not just that, because it was two people interviewing me. One dude seemed like he was suspicious of me. The other dude was like, yo, this the best candidate. They was like, damn, you got all the experience that we need, and like you already a night owl. It was night shift. I was used to working night shift. I had a clean background record. So, but no, they ain't never called me back. So I had a few other really weird. I had this one group interview that they actually lock you in the room. And during the whole time, they was like programming us. It was like they was playing a game with us. And it was even one ex-military dude laughing like he ain't taking none of this shit. It was the weirdest shit ever. I'm telling you. It was super weird. One day I'm gonna talk about that because I really felt like that was some setup shit. Now they wanted you to compete to want to work for this company. So they was talking about how this company has so many of these great values and how much they care about their employee and stuff like that. But they only had two positions open and they interviewed like 30 people. So they want you to compete. And then they even have an internship that you don't get paid, but you have a chance to work there one day. No, no, no. Interns might do get paid a little bit, but they get paid less. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah. Cause that's what's like at the end, they ask you a few times through the interview, like, if you can't get the job, the position that we marketed, would you want to be an intern? They asked us about 3 times, typical programming shit. They would ask us every time after they show some slide and stuff and they talk about a company. Now, I think that they liked me too, but there was a point in an interview that I felt like I couldn't speak because at some points in an interview, they would tell you to speak something, like speak words, and I would literally can't speak them. So I just sat there like, I just sat there and she looked at me and I still didn't say nothing. but I literally couldn't. And she was looking at me because I'm like the only person that's not saying anything, like not repeating these words and shit like that. Anyways, I gave one of them my YouTube channel. Hey, if you still watch me. The next day they sent me an email saying that they decided not to continue with me. I already pulled a tarot card and the tarot card told me that I wasn't gonna get it. So I don't pull tarot cards on a lot of things. Like I really don't. Um I mean, I guess I do in a sense, like because that's my thing. That's what I do. But I'm talking about when like let's say that I met somebody new or something like that. Like I just won't pull tarot cards on them right away. But I'm starting to think that I should do shit like that, you know? Um, like on this particular situation with the rent and all of this, um, I didn't pull no tarot cards. None. But you know, intuitively, I knew, I knew, I knew I did. The main reason I just did not want to like uproot my daughter right now, and I wanted to save money. So that's why I didn't go ahead with that other apartment. But I didn't think that they was gonna be petty like the way that they is. I didn't think that they was gonna do that. I didn't think they was gonna do it like that. Cause I might speak my mind, but I pay my bills. I pay my bills, and for the most part, like if I don't have shit to like speak about, I won't. Like most of the time, they don't even fucking hear from me. They could barely say that I bother them about anything. Um, but when they started fucking with me, okay, then I had shit to say. But they taking it like personally because the woman in there was like real smug, like I don't have the right. It's just no empathy because they know for a motherfucking fact if they was in my shoes and people was doing them like that how they was doing me, they would be just as upset. And I know how fucking nasty they is, but these motherfuckers got money. Motherfuckers, they don't have problems like that because you don't know. Like, I'm a beast for real, but because in this system, you need money to fight people like this. You do. And motherfuckers know that. That's why they keep you in that position. That's why they keep you there. They make it seem like, people don't work hard. That's why they're not successful. It's a mentality. That's why they're not successful. All this type of shit. Like, no, it's because they're not willing to sacrifice their soul. And that's some real shit. So let me finish out with my husband. So with my husband, when I first told him about this, it really upsets me because it made me realize something that I don't think that he truly loved me. And he might not have ever truly loved me. But what I did realize is that I truly love him, truly unconditionally. I did. Sometimes I was confused about it. Sometimes I felt like maybe I didn't love him because that's when I stopped wanting to be with him. But still, I wanted to see him happy. That's why I didn't make things hard for him. If I was deceptive or just holding on to shit out of my ego, I would have just, in order to keep him, I would have just submitted. Or some women will play games. No, I wanted you to be free and I wanted you to have the life that you said that you wanted. I wanted him to have his own place because that way you could live under your rules. Because I'm going to continue to be me. I'm going to continue to do that. So when it first happened that day that I got sick and got the check back, I called him because I told him that I might have to, because when they told me 3 day notice, they wanted me to worry because they didn't further explain. I had to wait until the deputies came to my door and gave me the papers. I had to wait for all this shit because the people in the office, they kept being super vague with me. So I'm thinking like, did they give me a 3 day eviction notice? Like that's how they made it seem. So I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to get up out of here soon or something. That's how I'm thinking. And I asked him like, I might have to stay with you for like a month or two. I was willing to compromise on things like not bringing my tarot cards in his house, not smoking weed in his house. And I was even gonna wear a skirt when I was in the house. But all I asked him is that for him to not force my daughter into a skirt. He know my daughter. He know how he know her personality. And he pushed it. He pushed it. And at that point, I told myself that I do what I have to do to not to go back to that. I said I do what I have to do to not go back to that. And I complied and I followed all the rules of that notice and everything. Just for at the end, for them to tell me because I spoke my mind, they gonna kick me out. They gonna still try to evict me, even though I already tried to pay them. I was on my way to paying them because I couldn't pay them to them directly because they already went through the court process. So I had to pay through the court. So yeah. And not only that he pushed it, but he insinuated that he gonna want even more. And then I seen him grin. I seen him grin and I heard him on the phone because of the situation that I'm in. It was making me run back to him. And when that happened, he felt like he could get anything that he wanted out of me. That's what he felt like. So it made me realize like this person don't love me for real. They don't. They just want to control me. So yeah, that's my story. So right now, I don't know. Like I'm figuring it out. But for like a month, I ain't gonna have nowhere to stay. I would stay in a hotel, but I have to be able to afford, but I'll still be working and everything. I don't know, but I don't think I would be able to, have my setup and stuff like that. I have to pay for storage. So I might not be on for a while, but I might change my mind. Like, I don't know. It depends on how things play out. But yeah, but that's wasn't the point. My point was I wasn't going to talk about it because I felt prideful. And I felt like people who wish bad on me, like they was getting what they wanted. But I did this to overcome that. So I'm really doing this for myself. Like to prove that I'm willing to do whatever to be freed from this bullshit, because no soul should be in this situation. So, but you know what? I ain't gonna even say that. I don't deserve to be in this situation. But yeah. So I'm doing this for myself because it don't, on my motherfucking worst day, these motherfuckers don't have shit on me. And that's the fucking truth. They don't have shit on my spirit. And I won't allow a motherfucker to destroy that. And that's what y'all gunning for. But I literally can't do that. So I couldn't ask for a better way. Wonderful. Lord have mercy. Look, I think I already showed this. This is an electrical lighter, and it's full of shit. Like, for one, look, it's already dead. It's a waste of time, but I can't find my lighter. Oh, that one doesn't work. So yeah, is the one behind you? So yeah, that was going on and stuff like that. So yeah, if y'all don't see me for a minute, like that's the reason. Stay blessed, y'all.